Merry Christmas, day after Christmas. And happy birthday to anybody that has birthdays around here. You don't get told that enough around that time of year, this time of year. And that's kind of not what I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to say that because it's not said enough at this time of year. You know, I had a cousin who passed whose birthday is today, and always in my mind right after Christmas. He died way, way too young. Where do I want to go with this? This is the time of year and stuff. I know there's I'll just say it. There's I'm beating around the bush at the beginning here. This is the time of year that we get together and we have holiday cheer and everyone's like, you know, trying to get in that mental up mode, and there's some that go through a major depression and stuff for whatever reasons. There's a lot of different reasons. But either way you look at it, one of the things that you run into as well is this is the time of year when the pressures are great for whether they're done internally or done by peer pressure. But the pressures are great on those that do have those vulnerabilities. And that's something that we don't really recognize and call out enough, you know. Those people with alcoholism, those people with drug addiction, those people that are struggling because of separation anxieties or something like that. Those kind of things are ramped up. We'll just say it that way at this time of year. The pressures are stronger, the denial is stronger, the desire is stronger. And so my little talk here this morning is going to kind of center on one, but it you can swap the term and apply the other stuff right to it. Mine's more on the alcoholism thing. I don't have that disease, and yes, it's a disease because there is a chance you can eradicate it, but you're always going to be battling it the rest of your life. That's one of the reasons why they call it a disease. What it does to the rest of your body, just brutal, you know. And let's get real about it, I've lived it. I've been around it all my life. I have never been, quote unquote, bitten or whatever by the bug. I know many, many, many others that have, and have either lost their lives or lost their marbles because of it. And so I bring this to the table, not oblivious to what can go on. It's just sad, and it's something that needs to be recognized at this time of year, though, because we tend to put pressure on on like New Year's and getting together and gatherings, and we tend to put pressure on those that we don't mean to. And I say we, the people that don't have this issue, don't mean to, but we're not compassionate enough to those that do. And those that do have it, a lot of times are struggling, and they don't. There's a whole swath of in that spectrum that don't really know that they have it. But they're the ones that become belligerent or become very emotional when they drink, or become, a lush or forgetful, or just, there's a whole array of things that come with it. And it all comes down to that they need to grab another drink. They can't toss it off the side and just have a glass of water and not worry about drinking the rest of the night. And to those of us that don't have that bug, we kind of stand blindly going, I'm not getting it, because we don't know that pain, we don't know that feeling. We're able to control. The control is not there for them. Okay? And that's in a crux. That's what I wanted to say, was it's some kind of an awareness. And once again, this is stream of consciousness. To me, I do these things, I do these talks just for myself, my own thinking, but I put them out there because, God, it may help somebody, and if it helps what they say one person, then I've done my job type thing. It was worth it. And hey, it's a free thing right now. I can just put it right out there. No one listens. But going back to this, it's something that we need to be aware of. And I personally struggle with it. Not the alcoholism itself, but being around those that do. And because I was a product of that, I've sat many, 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 many hours in a vehicle while my parents were in a bar. Plain and simple. That's out of necessity. There's no babysitter, no whatever it was. I've sat in there, and way too much longer than any child should have. Okay. I've known the ups and downs of the hospitality industry. Let's call it that way. And so I have my issues and reservations. I know that people that have alcoholism have a bit of a problem when it comes down to priorities sometimes, and their capability of keeping them lined up. And I'm not by any means, I'm not saying that I'm better by any means. I am not saying that. I'll take the Jesus approach. I'm lesser than any of you on this. But to recognize it and to have that awareness means everything. And it means everything to helping those. I grew up in a time when they classified alcoholism very boldly right down a line. But there is different, say, stages or whatever to that point. The alcoholism that used to be known was how I knew it was an alcoholic is a person that depends on alcohol. Okay? I've known people waking up and shake for the drink. They're shaking for it. Their body is so deprived that they need it. And it can come down to that. Okay? They just need that little fix, that little whatever, and their body does it. The withdrawals are hell. And so finite that they kick in a 24-hour cycle, 12-hour cycle. So, and then I've heard the whole aspect of social alcohol, And I've turned around and kind of clarified it and said anybody that can't say no to having one more drink, then you begin to know there's an issue, I'd be the first one to go crack open a bottle of wine and have a glass, share a glass with somebody else, or even let's say two people, knowing that there's still some left in that bottle. And you can always top them off, because technically you got 3, 3.5, maybe 4, depending on the size glasses of wine in a regular bottle. But if it's just shared between two, you're not going to have one glass, you're going to have two, or 1.5 apiece, let's say. And so, and that's just a baby step. That's all that is. It's like a baby step. But I've heard the term that as you grow up, you're having a drink with your friends, and you always bring your different brand names of booze to pal along with you. But as you get older, your friends start weeding out and thinning out, but the ones who have always been there are your pals that came along with you before. Budweiser, Jim Beam, all these, the Walker Brothers and things like that. I've heard these little sayings all my life, and they are kind of so true. The gray lines in an alcoholism situation is a vast field. It's huge. And so, and it's one that all of us walk in, whether you're an alcoholic or not. All of us tend to walk in. I'll say it that way. Okay? Those that walk in that field that don't have the issue need to be made aware that they don't really help those that do have the issue if they don't call it out occasionally. go down that road and help somebody with the problem, God give you strength. Because it's not an easy road to help out those. If you have that problem, may God give you strength to climb on top of it. But the recognition is first that you got a problem, that you've been bit by the bug, that you have a disease, that you are not going to be able to pull out of it on your own. Okay? That's the field that we all stand in at this time of year. I'm not an expert, and I talk in circles a lot and whatnot, but there's one thing I do know, that when I do see a person, I've learned through life that I have a hard time, a really, really hard time with it. And with not so much the compassion as much as the strength to stay in that game for their sake. It's really, really hard for me. I can't, because I've been around it so much that it wears thin. In my personal life, I am so thankful to God that I don't have that. Occasionally I drink. I've always said that I've been on trains before, on drugs or drinking or something like that, but I've always gotten off. I've always had the wherewithal to go, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. And so, yeah, I as far as the drinking phase, I really don't. It doesn't. I don't have that bug. I can still like the taste of certain ones. I'm not really been a boozer. Mine's more on the beer and the wines and liqueurs. But that's where it's at. I've always been able to just have this and walk away from it. So my full compassion and heart pours out to those that do have that problem. And just know it's not always you that they've got the problem with. That some people are out there that understand, but they have a problem staying close to a person that has the issue because of their own walk in life. That's kind of it. I just wanted to ramble a bit on those kind of topics. And once again, if it's drugs or anything like that, that's one thing. It's a codependency. It's an addiction. And it ravages our lifestyle and our lives during the holiday season, just like the Three Ghosts in A Christmas Carol. Okay? It shakes us up, it makes us think, and it turns around and inebriates us at the same time. Numbs our brain, numbs our senses, numbs our compassion, but it's something, because it does all that, it's worth talking about. It's worth opening up that box and going, we're gonna deal with this right now. Whether you've got the problem or not, it's all educational. It's all helpful. You know, taboo subjects are taboo only because we choose not to talk about them. Otherwise than that, they're not going away. And they're definitely not hiding in a closet. So, got nothing but love. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Sorry for the long one. It's been a while since I've done something like this. It's almost my whole commute here. But happy holidays. Nothing but love from me. And may you have a very prosperous New Year's if I don't get back to doing one of these by then. And they all said, in Jesus' name, amen.